move. Geico says, let's make life simpler.
It's a fact of modern life. Switching isn't easy. Your bank, your cable company, your girlfriend. Let's just say each switch comes with a certain degree of difficulty. But switching to Geico, now that couldn't be easier. First of all, it only takes 15 minutes. And just like that, you could be saving hundreds on car insurance. No muss, no fuss, no irate, vengeful, significant others.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's rainy out there, Robin. Just rain, right? You like to play baseball in the rain?
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
No, it's not fun.
They play it in the rain in those vampire
It's not
movies.
fun to watch it in the rain either, which is why I like Tropicana Field.
That's right.
You're not in the rain. You got a nice cover overhead. In fact, I like it on a sunny day too.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cooler down there. Philip Bondi is on the phone. We all feel, all three of us feel, Robin and Philip and I all feel like we've talked before. We can't say for sure, but that's okay. He's got a book. It's called Who's on Worst? He is a sports columnist for the New York Daily News. He was cited as one of the top 10 sports columnists in America by the Associated Press sports editors. He's a contributor to Sports Illustrated. I get one copy a year. He writes for the New York Times, GQ, the Village Voice, and of course he's a prolific author himself. Who's on Worst? The lousiest players, biggest cheaters, saddest goats, and other anti-heroes in baseball history. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Larry. How are you? Robin, how are you?
We're okay. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from lovely Montclair, New Jersey, where it's 30 degrees at the moment.
It's still cold up there? What's going on?
Yeah, I was covering the New York Mets, actually, last night, and it was brutal out there. I mean, it was windy and 35 degrees, and by the end of the game, there might have been 200 fans in the seats.
You know, some people don't like the covered stadium idea. I kind of like it. What do you think about that?
I'm a big fan of a covered stadium. I've been in far too many frigid situations.
Was the crowd good last night?
Well, it started out okay, although not great, but like I said, at the end, you couldn't blame them. There was nobody left. It was something of a one-sided game, and once they took the kid, Matt Harvey, out of the game, the pitcher, who's just going to be a remarkable power pitcher for the Mets, once they took him out, I think everybody kind of headed home.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Do you know, one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm not good at debating sports at all because I'm not really a sports guy, but it's like listening to people debate politics.
Absolutely.
And so you, in your book, I'm guessing that the people you are naming as the worst, you're getting a lot of arguments from this, aren't you?
Well, it's not that easy. Obviously, there's some subjectivity when you're talking about who the worst owners and managers are. But there's some, at least with the players, you can have more stats to back it up, you know. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about even in today's expansion era, there really are only about 750 roster spots and millions of people who want to be baseball players. So you are talking about the best athletes in the world.
That's true, yeah.
But my book is about the worst of the best.
The worst of the best, okay. Yeah. So they're still going to be better than me.
I would guess, although I haven't seen you.
No, trust me, they're better than me. So who's in the book?
Well, I had to divide it. You can't compare apples with oranges, so I had to divide it into chapters like the worst fielders, guys like Dick Stewart, who was an amazing hitter, but they called him Dr. Strangeglove because he couldn't field at all. And then there are guys who can't hit, but who were great fielders. There was a guy way back in 1909, Bill Bergen, who he went 0 for 45 during one stretch, but he could throw guys out at second base. He was an outstanding catcher. But I decided, you had to have a chapter on the most overpaid Yankees.
Okay.
You had to have a chapter on the worst teammates, guys who just made everybody miserable. Things like that. The best cheaters, Gaylord Perry, who somehow survived for 21 years before he was caught with that Vaseline in his So there are different chapters, and like I said, the worst managers, worst owners. You had to have Marge Schott of the Cincinnati Reds in there somewhere. So a little of everything.
Oh my goodness!
When you showcase the worst owners? Is it because that they want to come down and coach and manage the team instead of just standing off at the sideline?
Well, I think each owner was uniquely bad that I talked about. Marge Schott was such a cheapskate that she shut off the out-of-town scoreboard to save the $350 subscription price. She didn't want to. She didn't want to pay. She didn't want to pay anybody who was on the disabled list. And that sort of was her claim to fame. But then you had a guy way back in 1909 named Horace Fogel, owner of the Phillies, who decided to change the name of the team to the Philadelphia Live Wires. Nobody paid any attention to, and eventually he was banned from baseball for his life because he started to charge conspiracy everywhere around him.
Did you have any? Are there any names in the book that some people will consider blasphemy? I mean, people you just shouldn't touch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some great players in here that somehow made my book because for one reason or another. I mean, Ty Cobb is involved in a great story where he's up in New York playing a game against the Highlanders way back when, and he charges into the stands after a heckler and beats him up. And this heckler didn't have any hands. And Ty Cobb was quoted as saying, "I don't care if he doesn't have any feet."
Oh no!
So he was suspended for that, and the Tigers actually backed him up and boycotted the next game. They went on strike, so the Tigers had to go out and find a replacement team to play against the Philadelphia A's, and they came up with a bunch of young kids. One kid was a student manager at St. Joseph's College. He pitched and he gave up. His name was Alan Travers. He gave up 24 runs, 26 hits, 9 walks, and then became a minister.
Let's go to the phone, if you're okay with taking callers.
Sure.
Good morning. You're on the air with Philip Bondi. Are you there? Or whoever was there left. I guess I waited too long. This is perfect timing. I mean, everybody's talking baseball right now. I think there's a revitalized interest in baseball. What do you think?
Well, I think that you have, first of all, a core audience. Now there's no use denying that football is now the king of our country.
Even up where you are? Even in your area?
No.
Okay.
There are still there's still cities that are baseball cities. I think New York, Boston, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Chicago. I think those you would call still baseball cities.
Yeah.
But in television is just football is just made for television. I don't think you can say the same of baseball, which can go on and on. And when the Red Sox play the Yankees, those games like last night, they always last 3 hours and a half to 4 hours. And Americans don't necessarily, the younger generation doesn't necessarily own the patience for that anymore. But when the spring rolls around, I think everybody remembers what baseball means to them and how it was passed from generation to generation.
When the baseball scouts go out and they're looking for new talents to put on their team rosters, are those scouts looking for the next famous name guy, or are they just looking for somebody that has incredible talent and can stand on their own?
Well, I think that it depends. You have scouts now internationally, who are looking all over the place, and sometimes they make pretty bad mistakes while they're scouting. I mean, that's part of the book. I mean, the most overpaid Yankees, the number one is this guy Kei Igawa, the pitcher who the Yankees ended up spending $23 million per victory on because they gave him $46 million and he won 2 games for them. So these scouts, they're trying, obviously, but at times it's especially hard to translate international talent because they're playing against different types of players in Japan and in other places overseas. But generally, I mean, obviously these guys, these scouts are trying to hit it big. I mean, if they can, they want to make their name with somebody.
Yeah, right. So does the book, Who's on Worst, does this put you on somebody's blacklist? Are you not allowed to cover games in some?
No, I mean, I don't know. It hasn't been out long enough to get that kind of negative reaction quite yet. But I do feel badly for the guy on the cover. And if you see the book, you'll see a guy by the name of Adam Everett, a Houston Astro, who happens to be a very good fielder. He was chosen by my publisher because of the particular picture. His head is in the ground, and he appears to have muffed a pop-up. So it's an interesting thing. I'm curious to see how displeased he is with being on the cover of this book.
Oh, no.
Do you cover anything in the book that has to do with the equipment, like bats? There might be certain weights in there that shouldn't be snuck in there, things like that.
Yeah. There's several players in the cheating category who corked their bats, and a couple come to mind. There's one, Wilton Guerrero, whose bat just exploded after he hit a ground ball, and the bat just broke into a bunch of pieces. And instead of trying to run to first, he was trying to run to retrieve all the pieces of the bat before the umpires would see it.
Oh!
He didn't make it, though. And then the other one that's very funny is Albert Bell was caught with a corked bat, and the umpire put the bat in in the locked umpires room, and one of Bell's teammates, Jason Grimsley, crawled through the duct vents at the stadium to retrieve the bat from the umpires room and replace it with another bat. Unfortunately, they knew that there were no Albert Bell bats that weren't corked, so he had to replace it with somebody else's bat. It was pretty obvious.
Oh, no. The book is called Who's on Worst, and it's written by Philip Bondi, and we do not have a copy here. I normally would give away books if I have one. We have to go buy one, that means. And is this available as an ebook? Let me start there.
Well, it's available on sure, as a Kindle book, as an ebook.
Right.
It's available on Amazon.com, on BarnesandNoble.com, all those places.
Did you have aspirations to be a ball player?
I was a decent player. Never thought I was good enough. I was better at soccer. That was I still have soccer dreams. Where I'm playing for the U.S. national team. I played through college, but baseball, I was a solid little league hitter until the curveball destroyed me.
Oh my!
No.
Do sports editors and gentlemen of your caliber have their own trading cards where your face is on there?
That's not a bad idea. But I haven't seen it. I will say if they applied the same standards to sports writing that they do to making the major leagues, I might be unemployed.
Well, you definitely have to have a little bit of levity in your profession, because it can't be all seriousness, because you've got fans from all walks of life that just really enjoy the game for a particular reason only known to them.
Yeah, I think baseball is such a good storytelling sport. I really do. In that way, it's so much better than football. It's a much better writing sport than football is, and that's, I hope, what this book is a bunch of fun stories. That.
By the way, just in Ty Cobb's defense, I guess there's really no defense for what you were telling us earlier. But I sat next to a guy once at Tropicana Field, and he was heckling the shortstop. Is that the position he was heckling, Robin?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
And this guy was so nasty. And I was thinking, oh, my goodness. And the guy, the player, whoever he was, wasn't saying anything. I mean, I know he heard him. I mean, we were close. And
Right.
I just thought, wow, this guy's got tough, he's got a tough, thick skin or whatever you say. So
Well, we have, in New York, as you may know, we have some tough fans.
Yeah.
I think the Northeast Corridor, Philly, New York, Boston, we're known up here for being particularly tough on the players.
And it makes for good YouTube videos, too, that stuff.
Do you prefer outdoor baseball fields or closed in like Tropicana Field?
Do I prefer him?
Yeah, which one do you prefer to watch a game?
After last night, I definitely vote for indoor.
Oh, okay.
At least in some climates. Or obviously, I think the best of both worlds are the retractable roofs. I mean, there you have it both ways. So I think if you have the money and you're going to spend $1 billion on a stadium anyway, why not build a retractable roof into it? Right? And then you can have concerts and whatever else you need during the winter. But up here, for some reason, that hasn't been. I think because construction costs are just so expensive that when they built the new Giants and Jets stadium, for example, they didn't. Everybody thought they were going to put a retractable roof on it, and they didn't. And so now people are freezing, and they're going to have the Super Bowl here in next February, and I don't even want to think about what that's going to be.
I heard no halftime show because it's going to be too cold.
Well, it will be. You don't know. It's a roll of the dice. You might get a 42-degree day and a sunny. You might be lucky, but on the other hand, it might be a blizzard. So who knows?
Philip, fun interview. Thank you for being on the air with us again. The book is called Who's on Worst, and Philip Bondi is the name you will look up on Amazon. Philip spells his first name with an F, by the way. Thank you, Philip. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Fun interview. We'll be right back.
In citrus industry news on Southeast AgNet, in a recent report to the Florida Citrus Commission, Florida Department of Citrus economist Matt Saloy described the Florida citrus industry as being in a precarious state. One reason the industry is in that situation is an expectation that consumption of Florida citrus products will continue to decline, an issue that Saloy discusses in this interview. You projected probably continued declines in consumption of Florida citrus products.
That's right. And that in the first two scenarios in that report, which reflect the status quo with and without market growth, we see a decline in consumption for two key reasons. One is that prices are increasing. They're increasing because of the short supply, and they're driving consumers to the point in those scenarios where they're either dropping out or just drinking less orange juice overall. But that third scenario we showed in the report, which is low loss, high planting, and market growth, shows that there is a good scenario out there, and we need to strive to achieve it, in which prices are increasing, consumption is increasing, and revenues remain high.
The big factor on projected loss figures is HLB, correct?
That is the major factor right now, and certainly other diseases are embedded in that assumption, but HLB continues to be of paramount concern across the whole industry.
What do you expect from your lawn this year? Now, during Kubota's Great Expectations sales event, you can get a great deal on the all-new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. With Kubota, expect professional performance, expect signature styling and comfort, expect affordability, expect a full 4-year, 300-hour factory warranty. Raise your expectations about your lawn with a Kubota Commander. Now with financing as low as 0% APR. See your Kubota dealer today.
Ernie Neff, Southeast AgNet.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. With surplus cash for the first time in years, the Florida legislature's budget writing committees approved competing $74 billion plus spending plans yesterday that give pay raises to teachers and state employees, pump more than $300 million into charter school, college and university construction, and are loaded with projects benefiting lawmakers' districts. Senate Appropriations Chairman Joe Negron, a Republican from Stewart, said the budget was an opportunity to play catch-up following years of successive cuts through the Great Recession. In an hour-long flurry of votes, Negron's panel passed more than 50 amendments, adding spending on projects for powerful individual lawmakers, including $400,000 for the University of Central Florida's Lou Fry Institute of Politics and Government, $250,000 for Orange County's public library system, $1 million to restore small county courthouses in the state, $100,000 for the Miami Science Museum, and another $50,000 for Cuban pro bono legal assistance. Senate President Don Getz's neck of the woods, stretching from Destin to Panama City, got a heaping helping of projects, including $300,000 for the Gulf Coast State College STEM Center, $500,000 for Opportunity Incorporated Okaloosa Walton Homeless Continuum of Care, and another $200,000 for Northwest Florida Ballet Academy in Fort Walton Beach. The committee also added $123 million in spending for college and university construction projects, including some on the campuses of Seminole State College, Daytona State College, the College of Central Florida here in Ocala, and the University of South Florida in St. Petersburg. And the Florida House of Representatives Appropriations Committee passed its own $74.4 billion spending plan, although Democrats voted against it amid objections that neither chamber was going along with a federally funded Medicaid expansion that would give health coverage to another 1 million people. Governor Scott is reportedly not so thrilled. Scott had requested about $160 million in tax cuts through a combination of exempting manufacturers from paying sales tax on equipment purchases and allowing a greater number of smaller companies to avoid paying corporate taxes. Lawmakers have not included either, although the House did add $36 million in tax cuts, largely by enacting another 3-day sales tax holiday for August that would include computer purchases. And Florida lawmakers yesterday got one step closer to a statewide ban on texting while driving. The House Economics Affairs Committee cleared a bill by a 16-1 vote that would make texting while driving a secondary offense. That means police will have to stop drivers first for another offense, such as speeding. Also from Tallahassee, a Florida House panel has given the go-ahead on an abortion bill. The abortion debate reignited yesterday in a divided Florida House committee that approved a bill seeking to ban sex and race-selective abortions. The proposal would punish abortion providers for knowingly terminating pregnancies because of the unborn child's race or because the parents wanted a boy but were going to have a girl, or vice versa. With banking and insurance chairman David Simmons pointing to a potential hurricane tax on Florida residents, the Senate Appropriations Committee yesterday approved a bill to revamp Citizens Property Insurance Corporation. Simmons, a Republican from Maitland, said the bill, which is Senate Bill 1770, is designed to return the state-backed company to its role as an insurer of last resort for homeowners who cannot get coverage on the private market. The measure, in part, would make changes to try to ensure that Citizens' rates are actuarially sound and not competitive with private insurers. Also, the bill would take steps to gradually reduce the value of homes that Citizens would insure. Simmons said residents throughout the state, including those who are not Citizens customers, could get hit with assessments if Citizens runs deficits while paying claims after a major hurricane. He likened that to a hurricane tax. And there are far fewer stories out there like Roy Kratz these days, a patriot at heart, the 17-year-old enlisted in the Navy in 1941, ready to fight in World War II. He had spent some time in the Atlantic and then transferred and ended up in the Pacific, according to his son Richard. Kratz served on the USS Meredith, a destroyer the Japanese sunk in 1942. Roy Kratz had shrapnel wounds from explosions on that ship, according to his son. Any soldier wounded while serving the country gets a Purple Heart, an honor Roy Kratz never received. The Army and Navy records were misplaced. There was an archive fire and records were lost. Well, yesterday, Roy Kratz finally experienced the moment that was 70 years in the making and decades overdue. He received the Purple Heart that he deserved so many years ago. At the age of 88 years old, Roy Kratz has a hard time speaking, but those close to him report that his smile told them everything. They say that smile meant he knew exactly what he was receiving, and they're sure he knows why. Roy Kratz currently lives in Fort Myers. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
For timely tips on shopping and buying and common sense marketplace advice, listen to Report to Consumers every weekday morning at 10:50 here on News Talk 1370, WOCA, the talk of the town.
On the next Voice of Ocala, it's Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living segment. She joins me in the first hour. Michael Compton. We're going to have him for the countdown to the Triple Crown starting tomorrow. And JJ LaSalva with his corner kick. I've finally come around to understand that soccer is important. So JJ gets his spot every Thursday with his corner kick. All that and more on the next Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. Hey, and remember, check out our podcast at WOCA.com on Buddy's page, The Source.
Hi, this is Brad, one of the hosts of Winging It here on WOCA every Friday at 9 a.m. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue regarding aviation. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. in part due to the lack of new pilots starting their flight training now. A pilot needs 2 to 3 years to get through their training and to build up enough flight time to be able to be hired. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a private pilot's license. This license will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. Now, of course, the student does not have to have aspirations of becoming a commercial pilot. If they simply have a desire to obtain their private pilot's license so they may enjoy the adventures of flying, they may also apply for the scholarship. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact me, Brad, or Ron at Ocala Aviation Services. 861-7484. That's 861-7484.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Relatively Deep Voice Man. It is 8 o'clock. 7 seconds away from 8 o'clock. So this is WOCA Ocala, the source. There goes the legal ID. Now that that's over, Galen Unold is on the phone driving, I think, and he's probably got some weather to deal with. And, of course, he'll remind us the importance of donating blood so we can have a blood supply in case it's needed, and it's always needed. Galen from Life South. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Am I right? You driving?
Yeah, I sure am.
Yeah?
Yep.
How's it looking? What's it like?
I think I've left the rain. It was raining earlier, but now it's not raining while I'm in the tree zone.
Okay, all right. You said you had a new phone. You're wondering how it sounded. Sounds pretty good.
All right, good.
Did I tell you I need to get a new phone?
No, I have not heard that.
Well, I dropped my phone in my coffee. Maybe a month or more ago, right? And ever since I did that, I can still use it, but it vibrates the whole time I'm talking to somebody. Okay? So I've been trying not to use it, but this morning I got to work, and in the parking lot there was a sedan with the driver's door wide open. So I thought I would call the law enforcement folks and say, hey, the door is wide open in a car in the parking lot. And they said, well, is it an emergency? I said, no. I said, but the door is wide open. And the lady said, what's that noise? I said, that's my phone vibrating. I dropped it in my coffee, of course. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. So
this is the first phone I've ever owned. So it's Life South's line, but it's my phone kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And I've never had my own cell phone, so I've never had to buy a cell phone or anything.
Really?
It's hard. It's like buying a car.
So
I was there for over an hour. So I'm I just want a phone. Who knew?
So it's brand new. Is it smart?
Yeah, it's smarter than me. I gave it to my son. He set it all up. But I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what do I have to do? I have to talk to you. Or they put you on the phone with somebody. You're like, wow. I just want to pick up a phone.
Yeah, right.
It took over an hour, and all I did was add a line to my wife's account. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
So do you talk on the phone a lot? I mean, I know you do on this show, but otherwise you're on a lot? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I've had the same old phone for 4 years, and it becomes like it's an appendage to me. And so I got to figure out all this new stuff. But I could not believe how much, and then you have to sign 17 pieces of paper.
My goodness!
Wow!
I'm like, I said, is this a loan? And he's like, I'm like, should I really read this?
Wow!
It's like, well, of course you can. I'm like,
what'd you get yourself into?
Yeah, it's just basically agreement that if you cancel your policy or whatever, they're going to charge you half of your arm and all of your legs.
Oh my goodness!
There goes your boy's inheritance.
That's right. I mean, it's what it is. And then there's an entire set of forms on the taxes and fees and how they can change depending on the local policies and stuff like that.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
What do you do? You're like, at that point, you're locked in.
That doesn't sound good at all.
And I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be easy. I'll go in. I'll see, how hard it can be to pick a phone. You walk in there, there's like 45 different models. I'm telling you, it's just like buying a car. And then, you're thinking, okay, the price is the price. No, it's not. No. You can negotiate the price of the phone. And he said, well, you always feel, I had to take a shower a little bit because he goes, well, sir, does your wife need a new phone? I'm like, I don't know. I said, well, let's find out. So, because I was adding her to my account, my wife came and
okay.
And he's like, man, do you need a new phone? Because we have this beautiful new model, and she's like, well, and she hadn't had a phone in like 3 years. And, we're much like you, Larry. We don't want to give up our phone. and she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, this does all the features. And, it's like, you ever go in the mall during Christmas and they're demoing like this really cool toy?
Right.
And you're like 11 going, that is the coolest thing in the world. And you get home, you can never do that. So this guy is demoing this phone. And my 2 boys who are right in the demographic for all these gadgets are like, oh, this is what he said. Oh, Mom, you have to have that.
Oh, like what? Like what kind of things did it do?
You can use your voice to activate all this stuff. You can, like, if you want to share a picture, all you have to do is touch the 2 phones together.
Oh, I've seen the commercial for that. Yeah.
You see that commercial?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then it talks about how it's 4G and how much faster it is, and then you pull out he's like, well, what kind of phone do you have now? And
what'd you pull
and
out?
then he goes, and then you get this, this is what he went,
Oh, he made fun of your old phone?
Well, yeah, he didn't really make fun of it, but he made you feel like, wow. And I think he said something like, and he said, and that works for you?
Oh,
and he gave you that kind of slight nod and patronizing. And so you're like, all right, well. And my wife's like, I don't know, it's a lot of money. He goes, well, I'll tell you what I could do. Let me make a call, and let me see if I can get this price down.
Oh no!
And I felt just like in a car lot. He goes, we'll go talk to the manager. I think I can make this deal. Have you ever bought a car and they say, all right, just initial this agreement, right?
Yeah, right.
Right, and let's see. And so he comes back and he goes, well, we could do that deal. I'm like, well, what?
What deal?
And then I looked at Christy. I'm like, do you want a phone? She goes, what? He felt so confused.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
She got the phone. She's happy.
The end result, you both have a new phone.
So now we have a new phone.
Oh, wow.
And turns out, because we got a phone, this is crazy. Because we both got a phone, my son, who's also on our plan, gets a free upgrade.
Oh.
So he got a phone. Right? So 3 of the 4 family members got a new phone.
Uh-oh.
And the 4th family member, my oldest son, who had the newest phone of the group, went from having the newest phone of the group to the oldest.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Not
and
good.
then it hit him when we got home. He goes, I won't get an upgrade till next January. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks for you. Because I've spent way too much money on phones over the last 24 hours.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then I asked, I said, okay, so what happens if we upgrade a phone before it's time? He goes, and he looked at me and goes, you don't want to do that.
Oh.
He said, that's a $400 phone. I'm like, well, I'm paying like $40. He goes, right. Yeah, you don't have to pay a phone before you get the upgrade. I'm like, okay. Again, I'm telling you. And I even sat down, and the guy was very nice, but I'm like, man.
So now, did you need?
Car.
But now, back up to the beginning. Did you need a new phone?
Yeah, because Life South's changing its policy where they're just going to give us a stipend for a phone, so because they don't want to manage it.
I got you.
Well, leave, and this way I have the same number.
So what was the selling point? What was the thing? I mean, sometimes it's the stereo in a car. What was the selling point?
I needed a phone that I could search the internet with and do maps. And because I don't like to carry around paper maps like you do, Larry. And I needed to be able to check my email over it. So I get a ton of texts, a ton of emails over my phone.
Too funny. Love that story.
So I went from a BlackBerry to to an Android phone.
Android,
so how big is the Android? Is it like bigger than your hand or about the
No,
same
I mean,
size?
that's I'm telling you, it's like you can buy a compact model or you can buy a Cadillac Escalade. I mean, there was one in there, and I'm not kidding. I could barely get my hands around it. And he said, "Yeah, that's a phone." I'm like, "That's not a phone." and this is some kind of now I know why they call it a tablet because it's as big as what Moses brought down from the mountain. and the guy goes, "Yeah, it's pretty big."
He's on a roll today.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it all night. I'm like, man, you go in there, and I didn't want to do it online because I figured I like to deal with people in person, and it was I thought this was going to be easy. No, and they're like, well, what color would you like a phone? I'm like, I don't know. Color.
Black. You're a man. You want a black phone.
Like,
Women want colors.
You always have to be worried when somebody says your price range.
Yeah,
and I looked at the guy, I'm like, I'm buying a phone.
Yeah, right.
What are we talking about?
What is your price range?
Is it covered under homeowner's insurance in case it gets stolen?
Oh, yeah, and then there's a whole segment about insurance. I mean, yeah.
You bought some. You bought some, didn't you?
You have to. I don't know. I'm telling you, it was incredible.
Yeah. I'm sticking to my track phone. I'm not doing any of this stuff.
What I need is there, and this will come just like they do for phones. Pretty soon it's going to go. We make shopping easier at Galen Cell Phone Service. Tired of the haggling.
By the way, you know how many Rand McNally books you can buy for $40 a month?
A lot. Every possible one.
All right, let's go to the phone. You stimulated
still need a phone.
You've stimulated the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Galen.
Good morning once again, Larry, Robin, and Galen. How is everybody?
Hey, Jim. Good.
I finally hear you again. I haven't been able to hear you guys for a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, I think something was fixed, so that's good.
Yeah, I must have fixed it last night.
Yeah, maybe.
You're talking about those phones, the new one that's coming out. I think it's the Galaxy. You don't even need to use your fingers. You can move it with your eyes.
Oh, wow.
Really?
The screen of it, it follows your eyes. I think it's the Galaxy 4S or something like that. It's a new one. And then the other part of the story I want to tell you. We went and got Mama a new phone here a couple months ago because she didn't drop it in her coffee, but she dropped it in something else that we won't talk about.
Oh, no.
And we went to I guess it's a relatively newer outfit, but they're very popular all over the country. And got her a phone, prepaid phone that's much simpler and easier, and then ends up being cheaper that way, too. It's on a plan, but it's prepaid.
Uh-huh.
The second month we went to pay her bill, they're gone.
They're gone!
Oh.
They're gone.
Oh, no.
Everything's gone out of the store, off the windows. The only thing is the main sign over the door. Everything else is just poof.
Oh, no. So what do you do?
Well, luckily, it's like I say, it's a popular outfit, so there's other stores. But there was no notice, nothing.
Oh, wow.
It's gone. And we got to thinking, oh, boy, because like Galen's saying, there's even a prepaid phone. It's 22 pieces of paper you got to sign to get it.
Yeah, I sign nothing for my track phone.
No, me neither.
That's what I use, track phone. That's what I'm talking to you on right now.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Jim.
$10 track phone.
Yeah.
Have a good one, yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's take the other line. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Hey.
Galen, did you get the phone that has your personal assistant? Where it's like a girl and you set it up and you can tell her to dial certain numbers for you or search the web for you?
Yes.
My son was messing around with her the other day, and he was talking to her, and he'd say, she has a name, and I don't know what her name was, Gladys or something. And he says, Gladys, do you love me? And she says, well, that's debatable. Russell, behave.
Oh.
But you can ask her really silly questions, and she'll give you an answer back that's not, that's kind of...
oh, I know what
nice
Galen's going to be doing.
Yeah. So I can imagine all these drunk guys talking to this girl on the phone, and she answers you back.
I'm guessing there's a lot of inappropriate radio dialogue going on right now.
Yeah, but it's really good though. He could just call, ask her, Carmen or whatever her name is, dial WOCA radio for me, and it dials WOCA radio. It's all voice activated. You never have to type anything in.
Wow.
You know, I will tell you, it's WOCA. I have to change the way it's entered because it calls it WOCA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. WOCA.
Yeah, you got to spell it out. W. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, the phones are really cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda.
Right. You guys have a good day.
So you can.
It's really, it's I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's hard. When I was on you do get withdrawals when I don't have my phone. I do get withdrawals. When I was on the cruise, it took me a good day before I stopped checking my phone because I mean, I get emails, you know, all night long. And first thing I do when I wake up, check my emails. Before I go to bed, I check my emails. Just because of the industry I'm in, you never know when chaos is right behind you. So,
right.
You know, and I get about 250 emails a day sometimes. So, yeah, I know it's crazy.
I know. I get a ton of emails. It got to the point where it's just too much. I just can't even handle it. People will say, "Did you get my email?" And I go, "I don't know. There's too many."
Mm-hmm.
I don't send you emails anymore. I send them to Robin.
That's what. Yeah, that's what you need to do. I
probably shouldn't have told everybody your trick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're just a cover.
Yeah, now
you're just that.
Nah, that's
right. You're the paper tiger or whatever it is.
No, that's right. No, most of
you're the puppet. You're the puppet leader. But Robin runs the show. We know this.
That's right. That's right.
I don't think so.
All right,
He drives the bus
Robin, we need to segue from phones to donating blood. That's okay. That's okay. No, that was a better segment anyway. We'll do the vaults another day.
You know, I hope Dan and Joe aren't going to a sales call today. For a cell phone provider.
Why? Why? You didn't say anything bad. You made people want a phone that you can talk to and ask dirty questions.
Maybe they can talk about the streamlined purchasing sales.
Well, communication is the key for Life South Community Blood Centers.
There you go.
When you go to Life South Community Blood Centers, you give them all of your contact information. They will call you up on your phone and remind you to donate blood. They'll send you emails about upcoming events, and they'll let you know.
Want those emails.
That's right. So go to Life South Community Blood Centers because with them, it is all about our community.
Yeah, thank you. That's perfect.
And of course, there's a need for blood right now. Is there an urgent need? What's the condition?
We're currently in critical need of O and B.
Okay.
So,
O and B. Oh, I'm a B. I'm a B positive.
I know you're a B.
Oh yeah.
All right. And we're ready. It's our due time, right?
That's right.
All right,
we're
cool.
ready.
All right. So
We'd love to have you.
Let's see if we can get there today. If not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe tomorrow better than today.
And I will tell you, it looks like April is living up to the billing with all these April showers. I think it's rained every day in April.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not a bad thing.
It's only the fourth day. Yeah. Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry, is at MTI, the Marion Technical Institute.
You are back here. All right.
He's got a new challenge with a new phone.
Let's see. If you can't get to the Bloodmobile, go next door to the Blood brick and mortar.
Yes.
And here in Silver Spring.
Really, Blood brick and mortar. Think about that.
And in Denellen, Rob, where would you go?
Right next door to Sweet Bay.
Wow. We're going to go up there and go, wow, what is all that? Why is your building red? I don't know.
All right. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on your new phone.
Well, thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks,
we'll be right back.
Bye, all.
It's Flying Back, the 39th Annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expo. Tuesday, April 9th through Sunday, April 14th in Lakeland, the largest air show in the South. Aircraft of all shapes and sizes, including historic warbirds and vintage aircraft. Daily air shows, aerial acrobatics, the Batcopter, Otto the Performing Helicopter, and Wing Walkers. Plus, the Black Diamonds Performance Jet Team fly Thursday through Sunday. It's fun for the entire family and includes a kid zone with zipline and rock walls. Over 30 food vendors. Live music every day. The Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expo features a Friday and Saturday night air show and a Saturday morning hot air balloon launch. The 39th Annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expo, April 9th through the 14th in Lakeland. For more information and Florida resident specials, go to sunandfun.org. You cannot miss the 39th Annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expo, April 9th through the 14th in Lakeland. The largest air show this season, right here in your neighborhood. What's thrilled you lately?
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, let's take a look at gasoline prices. Right now, the price in Ocala has gone down about 2 cents since yesterday. The average is $3.59 for a gallon of regular unleaded. Here's the best deal I can tell you about. Called in just 18 minutes ago. It's the Citgo station at 1001 South Pine Avenue. They've got gasoline for $3.51, so 8 cents cheaper than the average in our city. That was 18 minutes ago. Another one 18 minutes ago is the BP station at 1010 Southwest Pine, $3.51 there as well.
On the next Voice of Ocala, it's Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living segment. She joins me in the first hour. Michael Compton. We're going to have him for the countdown to the Triple Crown starting tomorrow. And JJ LaSalva with his corner kick. I've finally come around to understand that soccer is important. So JJ gets his spot every Thursday with his corner kick. All that and more on the next Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. Hey, and remember, check out our podcast at WOCA.com on Buddy's page, The Source.
What if I told you that you could retire at 46 and make $155,000 a year for the rest of your life? You'd say it's a get-rich-quick scheme, right? But you'd be wrong. It's happening right now because so-called conservative legislators are backing public employee unions, forcing Florida cities to provide platinum-plated pension plans to government workers. In just one example, the Sun Sentinel reports that a deputy fire chief retired at 46 with a $155,000 annual pension payout that's expected to cost local taxpayers more than $5 million. In many cases, public union workers are making more in retirement than they made on the job. This has to stop. Floridians can't afford it. Contact your state legislators. Tell them it's time to fix the local pension problem. Stop the unaffordable mandates and start standing up for Florida's towns and taxpayers today. Paid for by citizens for local decision making.
All right, partner. 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's time for other news. These are the stories that just don't fit anywhere else, so we squeeze them in right here.
Yeah.
All right, the first one comes out of Holliston, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts business called Men in Kilts offers customers window washing, pressure washing, and gutter cleaning.
Oh, I like the gutter cleaning. That'll be fun.
By men dressed in kilts.
Yeah, because on gutters, you got to climb up a ladder. We'll find out what's under those kilts finally.
Shane Ross of the Holliston, Massachusetts business, a franchise spun off from the original Men in Kilt service in Vancouver, British Columbia, said the response has been overwhelming.
I bet it has.
He said he get thumbs up from everybody.
I bet.
Ross said he isn't bothered by working in a kilt. No, I'm Scottish. I don't mind it at all. Judy Briggs, the franchise owner, said the men do a lot of climbing in their kilts, but they remind customers of their no peeking rule.
Ooh.
We did a photo shoot last week in Boston. My son was up on the second floor, and the women were walking down the street, and instead of going around the ladder, they'd go under the ladder.
Of course.
And he just politely would say, no peeking. Oh, come on. Right.
We got to get that franchise here. That Ocala Hilton will have those kilt guys there every day for business.
Yeah, it's the only building tall enough to actually apply that to.
That's right.
Well, no, what's that old hotel downtown? Whatever that is. Is it a bank now?
Yeah.
All right, the next story out of Austin, Texas. Authorities in Texas say a dead body reported by a jogger near a trail turned out to be a dead pig.
Oh.
A spokeswoman for the Austin Fire Department said the jogger called 911 at 9:45 a.m. on Tuesday and reported seeing a naked dead body by the trail near the elementary school. Police, firefighters, and paramedics responded to the scene and soon discovered the body was that of a pig, not a human.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Next story out of Norfolk, Virginia. Authorities in Virginia say disciplinary action is being taken against a deputy who forgot his gun in a Macy's dressing room.
Okay.
Oh, not a good thing.
No.
The Norfolk Sheriff's Office said the deputy, whose name was not released, accidentally left his gun at the Macy's in Norfolk immediately informed his superiors, his supervisors, whatever.
Oh, somebody took it. Oh, my gosh.
The deputy realized as soon as he returned home that he had left his weapon behind and immediately notified the store. The sheriff's office said in the statement, the Norfolk Sheriff's Office considers this a very serious and unacceptable situation.
Yeah,
it doesn't say. The gun was recovered.
Oh, good.
The gun was recovered.
Wow. That's dangerous.
Next story out of, let's see, where are we? Next story out of Salt Lake City, Utah. A Salt Lake City woman said she was called by U.S. Capitol Police after calling the local office of U.S. Senator Orrin Hatch to ask about whether he'd be in town.
Oh.
Elise Lazar said she called the Salt Lake City office of Hatch, who's a Republican from Utah, on March 25th to ask if he would be in town during spring break and whether any town hall meetings have been scheduled. Lazar said she explained she and some friends wanted to discuss issues with Hatch, but was reluctant to reveal the issues because she didn't want Hatch to refuse to meet with her. She told the newspaper she wanted to voice opposition to the proposed Keystone XL pipeline. Lazar said the receptionist told her Hatch would be too busy to meet with her while in town.
Oh.
The woman said she received a phone call the following day from U.S. Capitol Police in Washington. She said they told her a complaint had been filed by Hatch's office and they felt she might be a suspicious person.
Oh, my gosh.
Hatch spokeswoman Heather Barney said the receptionist was concerned due to Lazar's lack of clarity on the purpose of her call and kept pushing on the comings and goings of Senator Hatch. Well, can't blame the police for that.
Yeah,
that's their job,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Next story out of Washington, more U.S. voters believe President Obama is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Then think that the moon landing was a hoax, according to a poll released Tuesday.
Of course.
Public policy polling took a look at some conspiracy theories. National Journal reported pollsters said 13% of respondents said Obama is the Antichrist, and another 13 are unsure. I don't know. It could be.
They just don't care.
And by the way, the Antichrist conspiracy thing happens for every president.
Yes, it does.
Every president since I can remember has had somebody take his name, or, well, there are no her names. They took his name and found out some way to make it add up to 666.
Yeah, always. Doesn't matter who's in that office.
All right, let's see. The next story is out of Los Angeles. A student in London and a Los Angeles actress are raising funds online to help them discover if they are long-lost twin sisters.
Oh.
Anais Bordier, who's 25 years old, a French fashion student living in London, said she saw Samantha Fuderman, also 25, in a 3-minute YouTube sketch and thought it was like looking back at myself. Bordier said she decided to investigate further after seeing Fuderman in the film 21 and Over, and she found out that Fuderman had also been born in South Korea and adopted at a young age. She said she decided to find the other woman on Facebook when she found out they had the same birthday, November 19th, 1987.
Wow.
At first glance, I only saw my face staring back from her profile picture, Fuderman says. After just a few clicks and a personal message from Anais, A-N-A-I-S, Anais, I knew I was about to embark on a journey that no one else had ventured before. I was positive this girl was in fact my biological twin sister. Fuderman said she and her likely sister found they share a twisted sense of humor, a love of cheese, and an apparent Napoleon complex.
That's a new one.
The women are using fundraising website Kickstarter.com in an attempt to finance a meeting and a DNA test to prove their relation. The women said they have raised $34,000 with 15 days left to go in the fundraising drive.
Wow. Gee.
Next door, out of Carmarthen, Wales. Experts say a white mole caught in a farm trap set by a Welsh teenager is a 1 in 100,000 animal.
Wow.
Gary Childs, who's only 17 years old from Carmarthen, Wales, who makes extra money by setting mole traps on farms, said he was stunned when he went to check on one of his traps recently and discovered it contained an albino mole.
Oh, gosh.
I'd heard of white moles, but never seen one, said Childs.
Yeah. Is he going in the zoo? He didn't kill it, did he?
Childs, who said farmers pay him about $15 per mole, said he discovered a stuffed albino mole recently sold for about $908 on eBay.
Oh, don't kill it and stuff it. Please don't. So what's he going to do with it?
It doesn't say.
You better put it in a zoo.
He has not decided what to do with the animal, so I guess it's alive.
Oh, good.
And out of Aspen, Colorado, a Colorado woman said she has been reunited with her dog 9 days after the female Shar-Pei vanished on a mountain pass.
Oh.
Judy Dunn of Aspen, Colorado, said she was walking her two dogs on Independence Pass March 23rd when 4-year-old Sophie ran off and disappeared.
Oh.
I was up there until midnight looking for her, Dunn said, adding she returned at 7:30 a.m. to resume her search. However, there was no sign of Sophie until Monday morning when Aspen resident Andre Pitsos spotted her while walking his own dog. And anyway.
Oh, gosh.
All's well that ends well, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And
Gee, lucky the critters didn't get it. It's scary,
One more story out of Troy, Michigan. Michigan prosecutors say they were trying to determine whether charges will be filed in a fight that began with a dispute about pretzel dip. Troy police say they were called to the Auntie Anne's pretzel stand in Oakland Mall, because two women, 19 and 22, were fighting over the pretzel dip. All right, we've got to go to Mike Huckabee. We'll be back.
This is the Huckabee Report for Thursday. I'm Mike Huckabee from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. When Nancy Pelosi said we wouldn't know what was in Obamacare until after it passed, boy, was she right. Details next.
Hi, folks. Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. We're thrilled to have helped over 125,000 homeowners save money by refinancing with HARP. But there are millions more of you who could be saving big money on your home loans by getting HARPed. With HARP, you may be able to refinance with Quicken Loans even if your home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you get HARPed and start saving. Or if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Once again, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
We've learned recently that Obamacare, which was supposed to make health care cheaper and easier to get, is going to raise some rates by up to 60% and make millions lose their employee health coverage. Now CBS has discovered a new wrinkle. Low and middle income Americans who need help to buy insurance can apply for a federal subsidy. But the size of it depends on your estimated income for next year. Now, since the IRS is now in charge of our health care, if your psychic powers are on the blink and you earn more than you predicted, your subsidy can be lowered retroactively and the difference deducted from your tax payment. That means you could lose your tax refund or even get a surprise tax bill. The good news? When your blood pressure spikes, at least you'll have health insurance. There's been a lot of nasty rhetoric back and forth over comedian Jim Carrey's internet video mocking gun owners, specifically the late NRA President Charlton Heston. I don't want to wade into the name-calling. I believe in research. And it occurred that nobody had fact-checked his video, so I did it myself. In the video, Carrey says that Charlton Heston's movies are no longer in demand. Alrighty then. The last time one of Heston's films got a major public airing was Easter weekend of 2012 when ABC showed The Ten Commandments. It pulled 7.7 million viewers, obliterating all competitors. On the other hand, Jim Carrey's latest movie is the heavily hyped flop, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. So far, it's only sold about 2.5 million tickets. That's less than a third as many people watched the 32nd TV airing of the Ten Commandments. Tomorrow, April 5th, is going to mark 5 years since the death of Charlton Heston. I think these numbers prove that even after being dead for 5 years, he's still more in demand with the public than Jim Carrey is alive. Finally, if you thought the models in high fashion shows looked scary thin, you don't know the half of it. Former Vogue Australian editor Christy Clements has written a new tell-all book about the fashion industry. She claims that it reveals the ugly truth about what it takes to achieve the look known in the fashion industry as Paris thin. Clements recalls a top model who didn't eat a single meal during a 3-day gig until she was so weak she could barely open her eyes. And Clements claims models try to stop hunger pains by eating Kleenex-type tissues. Her book has sparked fury in the fashion industry. Insiders accuse Clements of tastelessness and taking revenge for losing her editor's job. But here's the sad part. So far, nobody has accused her of lying. And this is the Huckabee Report.
Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, you're the picture of health? You look healthy, you feel fine, but that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Since it doesn't always cause symptoms, you may not know you have it. The only way to know is by getting screened. Screening can find precancerous polyps so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. This is one cancer you can prevent. Plus, screening can find colorectal cancer at an early stage when the chance for a full recovery is very high. Talk with your doctor and get tested for colorectal cancer. Medicare and many insurance plans help pay for screening. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Howdy, I want to invite you to Dairy Queen for a great deal and a great meal. Right now, Dairy Queen is offering a hot, juicy quarter-pound cheeseburger meal, including the quarter pounder with cheese, a fry, and a medium drink for only $4.99. And you can add a sundae for only $1. So if you love real grill-cooked burgers cooked fresh to order, come get a great meal for only $4.99 at Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
News Talk 1370, WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults, so use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000, 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.